Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Introspective Lifeworks, where you will find me sharing and teaching all about what I know spiritually. Today's topic, the fairy realm. My question to you, have you ever encountered the energies of the fae? Now, back in 2008, I was watching Sylvia Brown, a well known psychic, on Montel Williams. She was discussing with a member of the audience that had this complaint of being awoken in the middle of every night by a group of gnomes marching in front of her bedroom window. Sylvia said, yes, they are gnomes, and just ask them to find a different route. Montel then said, what, gnomes? Then Sylvia said, yes, those things do exist. She said when she visited Ireland, she was being driven through the countryside and gazing out the window when she spotted a fairy, and their eyes connected, and energetically they connected. This was my first encounter with someone discussing things that up until that time I thought were all make believe. Little did I know that in my future I would be experiencing things of the unknown. Another important thing I learned from Sylvia Brown from reading her books was that our minds are so very, very powerful, and we can create with our minds, with our thoughts. In one of her books or on TV, I can't remember really which one now, not that it really makes that big of a difference. She had a client, she said, that had a tremendous fear of leprechauns, possibly from all those horror leprechaun movies. And this fear was so powerful that she actually created a leprechaun that would come and terrorize her every night. So, word to the wise, careful what you create. Now, on to my experiences with the fairy realm. I had no clue when I first installed my security cameras what exactly I caught on them. I thought it was spirit energy until I reached out and consulted several psychics, like I discussed this in my first video. And they told me it was a variety of energy, but it was mostly elemental energy. And I asked, how in the world did I get elemental energy into my living environment? And they said that I was like a bright light, like a light of a lighthouse that guides ships to safety. I was this bright light to the spiritual realm. And there was no boundary set, so whatever wanted to come in was coming in to check out this bright light, I guess. So I needed to learn how to set boundaries. And as I set out to do this, many, many more strange things were occurring. I would be awoken at night to what sounded like an old-time skeleton key going into a lock and unlocking something. I began sleeping with my sheet over my head. Some nights as I fell asleep, I felt like 100 little ping pong balls bouncing off of my body. One night I heard grunting at a full-length mirror directly opposite of my nightstand, and the noise sounded like it was coming out from under the nightstand. When I looked in the mirror, my room was dark, but not completely because of a street light shedding a little light through the blinds. And I saw 3 creatures with glowing orange eyes. They looked like miniature forms of Cousin It from the Addams Family. I just began saying, "Be gone, you're not welcome here," until I fell asleep. Then one day, while at work, I discovered my security camera was going off. And I looked at the video, and it looked to me like a circle of gray aliens in my living room. They were fading in and out, but the conversation they were having was completely not a language from this world. Because of all my experiences with ghosts, I know the worst thing you can do is have fear, but I also knew I needed some serious help. I found a psychic medium named Celeste that confirmed, yes, I had grays trying to come into my living environment, and that I also had Pleiadian protection, and that I have never been abducted. Perhaps the Pleiadians were protecting me from being abducted. She told me that not only were the prankster energies messing with me at night, but some troll-like creatures were also actually messing with my son. Later on, I ended up hanging an iron horseshoe over my son's doorway into his bedroom. I told her I smudged with white sage and that I thought that would remove these negative beings. She said, it helps, but it's not enough. She taught me how to call in Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron and work with them to remove the grays and block them from coming back. After all this, I set out to learn all I could about the fairy realm and learn I have from others and through meditation and my own intuition. The more I've learned, the less and less fear I had of the unknown. That is when I began feeling and seeing the energies without the camera. It is not unusual to hear them moving my plants, seeing them dance across the floor at night. They love my plants and crystals as much as I do, and I do want to share more about them in the future. I believe that it is a very interesting topic, and we do coexist with these creatures, beings, energies, whatever you want to call them. I do, however, have my own questions still, and here are 3 of them. First, for instance, do other awakened RH negatives encounter the fairy realm? I have watched many YouTube RH negatives, and there has been one in particular, a beautiful soul, and she has expressed that she has come across a group of fairies, and I think that's amazing that she shares that, and I do think that that is something that helps awaken others that aren't quite there yet. And I also had reactions and discussions with other RH negatives that also hear, see, feel that energy. But if any of you out there have anything to input on this, I'd really appreciate hearing it. My second question, do fairy energies and ET energies coexist for a purpose? Like, do they come hand in hand for a reason? This is a question I have. If anybody has an answer, that would be fascinating. And finally, do some of the fairy energies come from the angelic realm? Now, I have come across other spiritual workers that claim the silks, that they are a higher vibrational fairy being, and they do come from the angelic realm. But if anybody else has any information to shed light on that, I really appreciate that. And if you have any answers, please feel free to share them either here on the comments or send me an email at introspectivelifeworks@gmail.com. I will leave the email in my description. And thank you for watching. Go in peace and love. Bye.